Hey, what is Zaccheus with another live word of the day? And I entitled this video, The Lynching of Trey Reed. Now imagine coming all the way from the Caribbean island of Grenada and coming to the land of opportunity to experience what 5,000 African Americans, Black Americans experience, Black people experience in this country. 5,000 lynches from 1865 to 1965 and beyond. Straight lynching came all the way from Grenada to experience the fate of what African people experience in this country, the US. Now, the article reads, who is Trey Reed? What do you know about the Delta State student death? Came all the way from Grenada to experience a college life and experience opportunity and to make something of himself. The 21-year-old from Grenada, went to Mississippi, was found hanging on a campus. His family demanded answers, an independent autopsy, and the release of surveillance footage. Some people like to sweep things under the rug. The system like to sweep things under the rug. But I want to follow up on this case. This thing is serious. Racism airs its ugly head. I have the news article that I'm going to share with you now.
Authorities say the body of 21-year-old Demartravion Trey Reed was found hanged from a tree by a faculty member near the pickleball courts. Word spread quickly throughout the Cleveland campus, leaving students and others concerned and worried.
Well, because I am a Black student, hearing that happened to another Black student, it really made me feel, it's make me feel unsafe.
I do have to walk to class, and I like to go walk on the track, and it would be happy to know like what happened.
Local and state investigators immediately started looking into the incident. DSU Police Chief Michael Peeler says investigators found no evidence of foul play.
But pending an investigation, further investigation, and also from the medical examiner's office, we won't have more information until that part has been done.
And members of Reed's family are insisting on a thorough investigation.
Please, 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 please do your research on this. Do not let them sweep nothing else under the rug. Enough is enough.
University President Daniel Enos says the discovery left him heartbroken as he extended his condolences to Reed's family and friends. He added DSU would help students, faculty, and staff with the grief.
We thank you for watching.
This is frightening for the Black students in that all-Black college. It's frightening that they gotta be living fair because the Trey was hung. Now, you see, Charlie Kirk, the death of Charlie Kirk, I wonder if this is in retaliation because we had nothing to do with that. Black people, there's not a Black person that shot Charlie Kirk. It's a white and white crime. So I'm wondering if that is a retaliation. Somebody want to start a race war here. Somebody want to start a race war. Now the Black students are living in fear. Can't blame them. A lynching in 2025? Can't blame them for living in fear. You cannot blame them. And what I'd like to do is reflect on the little bit of the history of lynching. Serious. And the person who fought to stop the lynching. Because hideous, I can make, there's multiple videos you can make about scores. That's how far lynching goes of this country. And what lynching is? Lynching in America by white supremacists like the KKK was, and that's what they are. white KKK and terrorists terrorizing black people, pumping fear in them, telling them that you can't vote. Lynching was to put fear in some of the black people that live in America that you can't vote, you can't stand up for your rights, you cannot stand up for your civil rights. There's no civil rights. You can't stand for your civil rights. You cannot live where we live. That's what they call it. That's why something created called redlining. You cannot live where we live. You cannot. You cannot go to the same schools we go to. You cannot fight for voting rights. And lynching was a terrorizing act that these terrorists did. That's why I call them terrorists. That the KKK did to make sure that it put fear. So they catch one black person, lynch them, they put fear in the other black people around the town and around the compound. They say, listen. And lynching was a tool that they use to terrorize black people. Still is. Tool that they use to terrorize black people. Let's dig into a little history. Ida B. Wells, founding member of the NAACP. Also, which those who don't know, NAACP stands for National Association of Advance of Colored People. And Ida B. Wells was the founding member. She also was a big advocate against lynching. Because what triggered Ida B. Wells? Remember, she lived through the 1800s. What triggered her? When she came back from a journey, from a long trip, she came back and she found out that 3 of her loved ones were lynched and there was no justice for their lynching. And that's what she's known for. She was a big advocate against lynching in this country. Civil rights movement, civil rights leader. And till she fought until her passing in 1931. And they call it no foul play. Ain't no way that a man can climb a tree and then just take a rope and hang himself, hanging from a tree, and with broken legs. Make that make sense. It doesn't make any sense. And you kind of wonder and think because recently, last week, Charlie Kirk, white nationalist, got assassinated. And people now, it's white on white crime. That's what it is. And you can't ignore the fact that it's so close. The two events are so close together. Too close together. Not a black man that shot Charlie Kirk. No. But these two events, so close. Somebody's trying to start a race war.
1940s. It was bad. It was evil. But what happened? Something changed. They committed less crimes. Remember what BLM stands for: burn, loot, and murder. I'm sorry. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. When blacks in America did not have the same rights they had today, they were less murderous. There was less break-ins. Why is that? A certain skin color now gets their own summertime celebration. Oh, wow, look how far blacks have come. It has now become a racial complaining day. Blacks commit more crimes than whites do. They commit more murders. They commit more arsons. They commit more kidnappings. That's not a war on drugs. That's a culture problem. Why are so many blacks committing murders outside of their population?
Charlie Kirk, the late Charlie Kirk, spewed racism just to get a reaction. He spewed it just to get a reaction and to get people riled up and stirred up. Now, I know that not everything the media reports is what it is. Not everything is reported. Just because you see more black people, you see black people committing crime, and like white people don't commit crime. They do, but what gets more reported? The media has a way of playing in people's minds to make them spew foolishness like this in ignorance. Now, Charlie Kirk spewed racism, white nationalists, separatists, and he wanted to get a reaction. And they have the nerve to shout the Lord's name out, Jesus Christ. But the KKK shouted Jesus Christ out too. Christian Knights of Columbus, they shouted it out too. But did they serve the God I serve? No. 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 Because they create God in their own image. The same way how Constantine created Jesus as a white image, in their mind, white man is superior. In their mind, the image of being superiority is still in their hearts and their mind. And Kirk, and then they had the nerve to compare him to Dr. King. The only thing Dr. King and Charlie Kirk has in common is that they were both killed by white men. That's the only thing. You see, Dr. King was a man of peace, a civil rights activist, and a man of peace. And he portrayed peace. He adopted his ways from Mahatma Gandhi, and he demonstrated demonstration of peace through his civil rights activism. And he's a drum roll, an advocate of unification and integration. This is why in 1964 he desegregated the South. And 1964 he also won, or 63, he also won the Nobel Peace Prize. And he was a man, honorable man, that deserved to be a holiday. Now, Charlie Kirk said that, oh, Dr. King didn't deserve that holiday. Dr. King, no, he was wrong. You can't compare a white nationalist, a racist, to Dr. King, and then have the nerve to put the half-mast flag for white nationalists. Make that make sense? Doesn't make any sense. So why am I going to applaud? No, it's wrong that he got murdered the way he did, but I'm not going to applaud his rhetoric, his racial rhetoric, his bigotry, and his racism, and then compare it to a man of God like Dr. King. No.
Charlie Kirk did not deserve to be assassinated. But I'm overwhelmed seeing the flags of the United States of America at half staff, calling this nation to honor and venerate a man who was an unapologetic racist and spent all of his life sowing seeds of division and hate into this land. And hearing people with selective rage who were mad about Charlie Kirk but didn't give a damn about Melissa Hortman and her husband when they were shot down in their home, tell me I ought to have compassion for the death of a man who had no respect for my own life. I am sorry, but there's nowhere in Bible where we are taught to honor evil. And how you die does not redeem how you lived. You do not become a hero in your death when you are a weapon of the enemy in your life. can abhor the violence that took your life, but I don't have to celebrate how you chose to live. I am overwhelmed.
Pastor's on point. Pastor's on point. Pastor's on point. Whatever you sow, you're going to reap. Whatever you sow, you're going to reap. And if you're a person that is a white nationalist, and then claiming to know God, and then you're a person that spewed racism and division, you gotta wonder. You gotta wonder. And then you cannot, like he said, you cannot be a hero in your death and then be a villain. Whoever you're representing while you were living. You cannot be a racist as a white supremacist while you were living and be a hero in your death.
Gotta be careful of the positions you take, because they might just come back and take you. I am not applauding his death. That boy should not have died. His children got to be raised without a father. His wife has to deal with living without her husband. It should not have gone down like that. But the Bible says, if you live by the sword, be careful of your public positions, because the Bible says you will reap what you sow. And just watching it go down will try to rob you of your soul.
Now the live word of the day is coming out of Proverbs 17:15. He who justifies the wicked and who condemns the righteous are both alike abomination to the Lord. So if you see wickedness and you justify it, you know it's wrong, you justify it. You know that you know people that are racist, and you know that is an injustice being done to them. And you know that you hear injustice in the news and you justify it and you coddle it. It's an abomination before the Lord. But you see people like Dr. King, the late great Dr. King, Ida B. Wells, fighting for civil rights. Fannie Lou Hamer, fighting for civil rights. But yet, you know what they're doing is for a right cause, and you're fighting against them, and you're condemning them, and you're causing them to get hurt, and you're trying to harm them, but yet they're fighting for justice and equality and civil rights. It's an abomination before the Lord. But this is Zaccheus with another live word of the day. God bless and be safe out there. Until next time.